Alrighty then, Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 1047. Tips on books in a sequential series. Stanley hanging out. All right. In a sequential series. So you're writing the books in order, and they really should be read in order. What do you do? What do you do differently? Well, the blurb needs to be written for somebody who's already read book one. You can add a little stuff in there for somebody who's just looking at it for the first time, but generally you're trying to sell the person who read book one or book two if you're talking book three. And that makes your blurb writing a little bit easier because you can presume some knowledge. I mean, you still want to make it generic enough that somebody looking at it for the first time said, this is enticing. But third book in the series, okay, they can go back to the first book, and that's where you really hook them with the detailed blurb, the one that brings them into the series. The key is you can repeat words from previous books. Remember what I always say about write more of the same but different? Well, part of the same thing is the readers want to see the characters. They have fallen in love with the characters. They embrace the characters. So it's okay to describe them again. It's okay to talk about them. It's okay to tell them, here's what the strengths are. Here's what they're doing. Here's how they feel. Because readers suck that up, and it adds words and it adds heft, and it helps. It also makes it so if just somebody accidentally gets into book three, they aren't completely lost. And that's important. You don't want to lose people without ever having them. So they're not completely lost. You reintroduce them. You talk about, if you're into gun porn, you talk about the weapon, you give the nomenclature. It's like, 45, streamlined frame, the things that the gun porn crowd like. Or the things that the romance crowd likes. This, here's this tweak with this hair. Great. Go for that. It's okay to repeat that stuff. More of the same, but different. You don't need to go into pages of it because you've got books that are describing those characters. All you need is a little bit here and there just to refresh the reader's mind and move them along. What you're going to find is that you might get like 5K to 10K worth of words in stuff that's kind of repeated. That makes it easy to fluff up those later volumes without overwhelming the reader, without boring the snot out of them, because you don't want to give them a reason to stop reading. You just want to hook them a little bit. So short paragraph with repeated information that goes from book to book to book. So that's what I do, and I don't have any problems. The read-through is good. Readers are there. They're hungry for that next volume, and move the plot. Plot has to be unique. It can't be more of the same recycled. As soon as I start thinking I'm recycling stuff, then that's it. The series is going to come to an end. But until then, a little bit of the same, but different. Keep those readers on board. Keep them excited. Keep them embracing their favorite characters and moving on. That's about all I have to say about that. Reintroduce them. Get those words. Keep that plot unique. Keep it fresh. And make it so new readers aren't completely out of their element. And that's a good thing, because if you're marketing wide across a broad spectrum, you might bring in readers at book 3, 4, 5, 6 who didn't read the previous books or don't even want to read the previous books. You got to give them enough where they're okay with this one. And then if they're okay with it and liked it, well, maybe they'll go back. So pick up readers along the way. Don't make it so dependent on the previous ones that they can't get into it at all. And then you'll have problems. Multiple entry points is great. So sequential series, you still want it so you don't lose the readers. And there you go. That's everything you need to know about sequential books in a series. The blurb is a big thing. Don't be spending so much time on the blurb making it unique when you don't really have to. All you got to do is sell the person who read the last book and move forward a little bit extra tidbits to keep them on board. Keep moving forward. Peace, fellow humans.